Hey y'all, Jill here with Hillbilly Jilly's Garden, canning, recipes, a little bit of everything. And we're getting ready to make our stuffed bell peppers as promised. These bell peppers we pulled out of the garden today. We got quite a harvest of these. And so now I'm going to let my husband show you what he's going to do. The magic of the bell peppers, stuffed bell peppers.
Okay, we're going to make enough for 4 stuffed bell peppers. So you got 1 pound of ground beef, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire, 2 cloves of garlic, and then let's see, a 1/8 teaspoon of, or excuse me, a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and an 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne powder. And you can adjust that to whatever your heat tolerance is. When you put in just like that much, you don't get the heat off of it, you get more of the flavor off of it. You increase it, you got to watch out with cayenne pepper. You increase it and it'll get too hot. And then also about a half an onion. And that's the ingredients for 4 servings. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute our onion. For the compost, right? Alright, so we're going to dice your onion, and one trick when cutting any vegetables, like anything that you're going to cook, is make them the same size. Cut them all the same size, no matter what size. If you want big pieces, then cut big pieces. If you want small pieces, cut small pieces. But cut them all the same size, because that way they will cook evenly. If you cut big chunks and little teeny pieces, you see these are all little, right? About the same size relatively. So anyways, then they cook evenly. Okay, now we're going to saute our onions, and one tip when you're sauteing anything is start with your pan preheated. Okay, you want it hot, in this case about medium to medium low, and but start hot. Then add your oil to it. So we want about a tablespoon or so of oil, and we're using olive oil here, and then kind of swirl her around there, and then add your onions. Not too hot. This is still kind of hot. This is an iron skillet. This is all we cook on, but they hold heat real well. So once they get up to heat, you just need to watch and maybe kind of move it off of the burner, and then let it die down a little bit. All right. So we're sauteing evenly cooked. All right. So it's been about probably about 3.5-4 minutes on medium low. As you can see, the onions are beginning to cook, and you don't want to, if you see them get like little burned around the edges or something, lower your fire. But right now what we're going to go for a caramelized stage, but right now they're just starting to turn clear, some of them, and when they hit clear, then they're done. And so you can stop there once they hit clear and they lose pretty much all the crunchiness, and they're limp, and that's basically a cooked onion. But you can continue to go a little bit further, is what we're going to do, and they will start to caramelize. And once they start to caramelize, they start to get sweeter. So the sugars start to come out in them. But you got to be careful too about which variety of onion you use. Like if you use a Vidalia onion, you want to stop it clear, because that's sweet already. you know. But if you're using another variety of an onion, like a white onion, possibly, you know, it's very, you know, pungent, you may want to counter that with the sweetness. So we'll let it go a little bit longer. Okay, so they've hit about the done stage. They're done right now. You can see they're pretty much translucent. There's a few in there that, you know, still maybe take a minute longer or so. So anything past this pretty much is where the sugars are going to start to come out, and the onions, and they'll get sweeter. So again, if you're using like a Vidalia or a sweet onion, you know, you may want to reconsider about going any further. So we're going to let them go just a little bit longer, but right now we're going to add the garlic in. Okay, so you add your garlic in, but you add your garlic in at this stage, and maybe just a little bit before if you're done with your onions, because raw garlic burns real easy, and you'll fry it and it'll be all burned up and taste real bitter. So now we'll let it go for probably another couple minutes, I would say, and then we'll be ready to add the hamburger. Okay, now we're ready to add the hamburger. So you can see probably the garlic little pieces are getting kind of crispy looking on the edges. That's ready to rock right now, immediately. Alright, now we're going to add the cumin and the cayenne. So kind of sprinkle it around so it doesn't get all clumped up and stuck in one spot. And then a little bit more salt, not much, about that much. And then a little more pepper. So that's pretty much it, except for the Worcestershire. And once the meat gets a little bit browner, then I add the Worcestershire. Okay, so now we're ready to add the Worcestershire, and you can see that the meat's not completely done. It's about halfway done. There's still some pink on it. So in goes the Worcestershire, about a tablespoon, and then stir it in. And by the way, I'm on medium low heat. I mean, the slower you cook it, the more tender it's going to be. You could rush it and just flash cook it like most people do hamburger, but I like to cook it a little bit slower because I think it just keeps it more tender. All right, we're pretty much done with the hamburger. It's probably been, I'd say a total of about 10 minutes on medium cooking with the hamburger after you add the hamburger. And you can see it's still a little bit pink, but that doesn't matter because it's going to go in the oven. So it's going to be in the oven for a while, so it'll finish it off. If you finish it off right now, then it dries out when you put it in the pepper and cook it in the oven. Okay, now we're going to cut the peppers. Again, this recipe is for 4, so easiest way, what you want to do is cut off the top and don't go very far. So, yeah, like that. That's cool. And you can throw that in there. And the easiest way to get the seeds out is just go like this. And scrape them out on the inside, like that. Alright? And then turn it like this and go. And presto, no seeds. So that's number 1, alright? This one sits pretty good, right? So I don't think we'll have to jack with it. We got one, like if you get one that's all wibbly wobbly, does not like to stand up, you can do a little trick. You see how it there's the offender right there. So what we want to do is cut off the hide part. Now you got a problem though. You got a hole in the bottom of your pepper where all your good stuff's going to leak out. But there's a trick to do that. But let me cut the top off. Dig out the middle. I don't want to seed them. We'll save these seeds. These are heirloom seeds, and we'll grow these again because they did really well this year. So anyways, yeah, I don't want to lose my pieces. So now you got a hole in the bottom, so you don't want all your stuff. So what you do is you just take the piece that you cut off and stick it down on the inside and plug the hole up. Yay. Now your hole's plugged up. Pretty much. I mean, good enough, right? So, and now look, it'll sit without falling over. The last thing you want is your pepper falling off. Okay. And then your top, a lot of times this will just pop like that. And then you can flip this over and chop that up. And if you want, you can just throw them in like that or not. You don't have to. Either way. Okay. So here's another one that's kind of wobbly. It's not too bad, but during the cooking they get soft, so it may fall over. So on this one, you can cut off just a little bit. And this one, you know, it's got, typically when you do that, you won't get a hole. This one got just like a little hole, so you just flip it around again and take the piece you cut off and stick down and plug the hole with it, right? Okay, so we've prepared our rice ahead of time, and y'all may want to check back. We may do a video on how to prepare the perfect rice every time, not sticky. Unless you want it sticky, we can do that too. But we're going to do 4 peppers. We're going to do them 2 ways. We're going to do 2 with meat only, and we're going to do 2 with rice and meat. So we'll get stuffing.
So first one, we'll grab these and set these right here. So first one, we're going to do the meat. It's about a spoon at a time, right? So this one I'm going to go ahead and fill up. This will be one of the meat ones. So go to about a half an inch or so. And then squish them down a little bit. Don't squish them too hard because you'll bust the seams. Alright, so this will be another meat one. Alright, then this one will be a meat and rice. So you do just a little bit less. And then you go some rice. Alright. And then the meat. There you go.
And it's up to you how much rice you want. You can put more rice or less or whatever. And you can finish it with, I'd finish it with the meat on top, because if you leave it with the rice on top while you cook it, the rice will get all hard and be like, yeah, you won't even be able to eat it. So cover your rice. And just squish it down. Okay, so now they're ready to go in the oven. So we'll put them in the oven at 350, and your cooking time will vary depending on the heat of your oven, but generally it's 350 for about 45 minutes. And you just kind of have to keep your eye on them and peek. When it hits about the 35-minute mark, then start having a look at them and see how they look. And the last about 10 minutes, and it's really not even part of the cooking process, but the last 10 minutes we're going to take them out and we're going to put some cheese on it, and we're going to pop them back in the oven until the cheese is melted. Okay, so it's been about 35 minutes on 350, and so you can tell they're getting kind of shrivelly a little bit. So they're ready to go with the cheese. So we're going to put the cheese on top. This time we're using cheddar. Usually we'll use like mozzarella, but you can use any kind of cheese you want pretty much. So we just, each one gets a little bit, or a lot, whatever you like. Okay, and then they go back in the oven for about 10 minutes. Okay, well, they're done. Again, it was after about 35 minutes to 45 minutes to the initial cooking of the peppers, and then just about a 10-minute finish off, just basically to melt the cheese. So, and then we've got our homegrown heirloom all organic tomatoes and some white rice to go. So it's good stuff. Give it a try. It's really easy, and I'll tell you, here's a quick hint that if you want to do the speed cheat on this one, you can cut the fresh onion, cut the fresh garlic, use garlic powder and onion powder, and that'll speed up the process where you're not spending so much time doing your onions. So again, I'd recommend doing fresh, but you can use garlic powder and onion powder. So enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
There you have it, folks. We've got our stuffed bell peppers, fresh bells from the garden, non-GMO. We've got our fresh tomatoes on the side and our white rice, and we're fixing to dig in. Thank you for watching. We ask that you subscribe to our channel. If you enjoy this video, we have lots more recipes coming up. Take care. God bless.